The Royal Enfield twin family has just grown. This is the Bear 650, the newest launch from Royal Enfield in our market. I'm Amanda Pagliari. I'm here in Floripa, invited by Royal Enfield to get to know their newest launch. In this video, you'll learn everything about this motorcycle. Technical features, technology, my first impressions riding it here in Santa Catarina, and of course, versions and price. Although it uses the same platform as the Interceptor 650, it brings some changes to the chassis, such as reinforcement and foot peg position. The swing arm is longer, the tail is raised, and it even has more ground clearance, which made it 11 millimeters taller. The seat is a single piece type. It has some grooves here. It's non-slip, padded on the sides right here so you can ride standing up. The height from the seat to the ground here is 83 centimeters. Look, I was able to put both feet on the ground without any difficulty.
Well, its weight, just like all Royal Enfield motorcycles, has this characteristic of pure motorcycling. Less plastic, more metal, made to last. So there's no way around it, right? You really do have a heavy bike.
Altogether, it weighs 214 kilos and the fuel tank has a capacity of 13.7 liters of gasoline. The design, as you can see, is a classic motorcycle inspired by the bikes from the 1950s and 60s. And the cool thing is that it's called Bear precisely because it was inspired by a race that took place in the United States, the Big Bear Run, which was basically a race in the desert with no rules. And then they were inspired to bring this motorcycle, this very motorcycle right here. Specifically, it was the one from the rider, an American rider, who was the youngest rider to win that race. Like Royal Enfield, so the 249 is really cool in honor of this rider. So here we have a motorcycle with a very classic look, very beautiful Interceptor platform, and honestly, I think this scrambler is amazing. It's going to really please the Brazilian market. Full LED lighting, round headlight, round mirrors to give it that vibe. Unlike the Interceptor, it comes with spoked wheels with inner tubes on the front. We have a 19-inch rim in the front and a 17-inch in the back. Still here at the rear, we have two B-shock springs with 115 millimeters of travel and preload adjustment for the spring here at the front. This is the main difference compared to the Interceptor besides the longer travel. Here we have an inverted fork from Showa, which is quite sturdy. For the brakes, there are discs on both wheels and the diameter of the rear disc has increased compared to the Interceptor. And the cool thing here is that it already comes with ABS, right? But the new feature for this version, different from the Interceptor, is that you can turn off the ABS on the rear wheel. After all, it's a scrambler for mixed use. Music. It comes with the triple dash panel, the same as the Himalaya 450 and also the Gorilla. You have connectivity and Google Maps mirrored directly on your panel, which is really cool, and it has a USB-C port here on the side of the panel. Look, it even has this little cover just to protect it from the rain so you can charge your phone. Music. Regarding technology, well, you can turn off the ABS on the rear wheel, but it doesn't have traction control or riding modes like, for example, the Himalayan Trash. We have some changes in the engine, more or less. The engine is the same as the other twins, Interceptor, Continental, Super Meteor, and Shotgun.
The difference is that in this model, even though the engine is the same because of the exhaust here, which is very beautiful by the way with the 2-in-1 outlet, here it has been remapped, the engine, and because of that it delivers a little more.
So in terms of power, of torque at medium revs, okay, but the horsepower is the same. So the same twin cylinder with 47 horsepower and oil cooling, it's not liquid cooled.
It still has the same 650cc engine with 47.4 horsepower and 6 gears.
Another change that helped make the Bear even more torquey, let's say, was the increase in teeth on the sprocket, meaning the gear ratio has changed. And with that, Royal Entry promises a more fun and more powerful bike. How will it perform in our test? Check it out now. What a nice bike to ride. It's fun, but I was even more surprised by the riding position. For me, it fit really well. What a cool bike. What a cool bike. Of course, this is just a first impressions test. There will be a full review, right? The MotoPlay standard that you all love with the pros and cons, fuel consumption, resale value, safety, and everything else. So go ahead and hit the like button first, hit the like button, and then subscribe to the channel. Oh my, Maria, it's already started. Subscribe to the channel because as soon as the review video comes out, you'll be the first to know. It's a scrambler, so it's meant for you to do some light off-roading, but if you really want to go off-road, you'd go with the Himalayan, right? Not with the Ergo here, but it does have that scrambler vibe, you know, for some bumps, sand, and all that. And that's why it comes with spoked wheels, right? A bigger rim. It's not a 21-inch rim, but it's a 19-inch one. And that already gives you the speed to handle some off-roading, and especially coming from the Interceptor, right, which has alloy wheels, switching to spoked wheels, it's much cheaper to fix a spoke than to replace a cracked rim. So that's why in off-road, in rough terrain, it's more common for us to have spoked wheels, right, for durability. There's also the issue of tubes for you to fix tires with inner tubes, right? A lot of people might be wondering, wait, the Himalayan, which is cheaper, has the option of being tubeless or with tubes, and here on the Ergo, which is more expensive, even more so.
The idea is that the Ergo is more for asphalt than the Himalayan, and it has inner tubes.
And then, I don't know, right? The option, whether it's because of cost or because of durability also, right? Is it because the bike is heavier?
It's up to the audience to decide if Marta's choice makes a difference or not when it comes to buying.
I'm going to tell you the price now. We think the price is very fair, in line with other Royal bikes, with their pricing policy, and it already includes shipping. More than just style, this bike carries tradition and inspiration. And that's when Royal went back to its roots, went back to its history once again, and brought the Ergo 650. This scrambler here has an amazing design. I love the colors. There's something for everyone, right? From those who like a flashy bike like the yellow one to those who prefer, oh, there goes the yellow one. I said yellow, and there it goes.
Even for those who prefer a more understated bike like the black one.
I think it's going to be a sales success. In fact, I'm going to ask Gabriel Pettini from Royal Enfield about after-sales maintenance and everything else, right? And also about thefts, right? How Royal Enfield is dealing with that and everything else. So stay tuned. And if you're enjoying the video, leave a like. Your participation is very important. Your like, your comment.
And go ahead and send it to that friend of yours who likes a classic motorcycle, who likes a stylish bike, right? No matter what kind of bike they have, or even if they don't have one, just share it.
I'm sure they'll like the Bear 650 here. It's heavy, just like the Royals, right? The other Royals, which focus less on plastic. They have that motto, made to last, so it's about moto purism. It stays in line with the brand's DNA. Yeah, these are just first impressions. Guys, this isn't a full review video, okay? But I'm going to mention a few things just so you know. Oh, it's Mandinha, I don't know what, just some things I noticed, okay? I noticed that it doesn't turn much, okay? So that's something you need to pay attention to and all that. There's also the issue with the brakes. I mean, I didn't brake a lot, but at certain moments I felt the brakes were a bit sensitive. I'd have to try it more, do a deeper test, a full evaluation to really tell you about the brakes, right? The front one is, the seat is a little hard, guys. I'm not going to lie to you, okay? So it's not that kind of seat. Comfort Master, well, it's true that Royal always sells accessories, right? You can also find a seat in the aftermarket, right? If you're planning to travel long distances, okay, but the seat is a little bit hard. And the last point I noticed in this test was the suspension. Although it has more travel than the Interceptor, right? Don't be fooled, it's still from the Interceptor family.
To handle the bumps, the best thing is to ride standing up. It's heavy, so it's very stable.
Yeah.
It doesn't shake all over, you know, so that's actually pretty nice. Oh gosh! Yeah, it comes with US Miss tires, so that helps a lot. Look.
And I'm here with Gabriel Patini, who's responsible for the brand not only in Brazil, but also in Latin America. That's a lot of responsibility, huh? Really, congratulations on the launch. It's an amazing bike too, and for the results that Royal Enfield has been achieving here in our country. Actually, if you didn't know, Brazil is the biggest market outside of India. So for sure success, congratulations to our country, right? And to the management that's working here in Brazil. But, good question, you know that Amandia doesn't sugarcoat things. I always listen to you, your little questions for me on Instagram, so I'm going to ask some of the coolest or maybe the most controversial ones, right? The first one is already well known. We've discussed it during previous launches. It's about after sales, which you mentioned has been improving, and I agree.
Royal owners, share your experience in the comments.
But I wanted you to comment about the prices, right? The issue of how the parts are, if there's a delay in parts, network training, increasing dealerships. It's always a challenge, right, to train the network. And also the issue of prices, right? How is the brand seeing this, especially in our country?
With the transparency we've had with the press and with customers over the last 2 years, right? For sure, we're not going to say that our after-sales service is already the way we would like it to be. Perfect. We have challenges. Today, we are a company that grew 80% compared to last year, and we grew 65% the year before. So we've already tripled our size in Brazil, and we're working to improve all this business infrastructure, right? So last year we had a big investment in our distribution center, right? Where we more than doubled its size. We had 14 employees. Today we have 50 employees, right? All of this is so we can be able to serve the Brazilian market more efficiently, right? Is that perfect? I don't think so. I think we can still improve, and we're working on that. So revisions are also something that's on our agenda. I don't want to promise anything right now, but we're working to see if we can improve this a bit to make the revision process a little less bothersome for our clients. So we see a lot. I mean, I see a lot on social media. I read it. It's part of my job to gather this information from the market, listen, and try to do what I can do at the pace we're able to do it, right? Sometimes we get a bit anxious to solve everything overnight, but I can promise everyone that we're keeping an eye on things and working to keep improving. All these points that people mention about Royal.
Still regarding maintenance, right? People ask why it's done every 500 kilometers and not every 1,000 like is usual with other manufacturers. Is this only in Brazil or is it like this globally?
500 is the first service done at 500.
Yeah, it's just the first one.
That's a global specification from the brand, right? The first service is at 500 kilometer. We're studying to see if we can change that with the engineering team in India. Again, I don't want to make any promises, but if everything goes well, we'll be able to make it a bit more flexible for Brazil.
That's nice. Now, changing the topic a bit from after sales, let's talk about something I've always mentioned, which is actually a positive point in the review videos. The design of Royal.
They're more classic bikes, right? More nostalgic, that didn't really catch the attention of criminals. However, we've been seeing that people aren't even sparing bicycles, and there's been an increase in thefts and robberies. We've seen this happening with Royal bikes, especially the 350C.
I wanted to know if the brand is keeping an eye on this and how you're thinking of acting, maybe in a creative way, or how you're viewing this issue.
We pay a lot of attention to this, Amanda. Obviously, the fact that there are more bikes being stolen is proportional to the increase in volume. If we look again 2 years ago, we were a third of what we are today. Obviously, the bikes start to get on the radar a bit, right? With more bikes on the street, right? The sheer volume of bikes out there leads to a bit more but we're keeping an eye on it. We want to work on this. We have an internal project to develop a system to minimize the situation. I think that unfortunately in the big urban centers of São Paulo, you can't really solve a public safety problem, right? Of course, but we'll see what we can do here within our capabilities as a manufacturer.
The victims, actually.
Exactly, right? The right thing would be not to have these problems, right? Way below market average, it's worth noting that Roy is a motorcycle that's rarely targeted. The insurance, we did a survey now with all the brands on the market, and our insurance is a third, even less than the competition. So you can rest assured that Roy is still a very safe brand to own.
Yeah, that brings us to another point, right? Actually, the question for you is for that person who's watching, whether it's because of this motorcycle or they've seen another one, and they're not a Royal customer yet. Why? Why become a Royal customer?
Enfield. I think that with Royal Enfield, you'll find a unique combination in the market of a cool motorcycle with good quality, with a distinctive design and a community, right? You'll be part of a community, right? So you'll be able to meet people, go on rides and take part in events. Our dealerships are community centers, but then comes the big question, which I think everyone has, all this for an absurd price, right? You see this bike here, it's a little over 30,000 rays with a dashboard, one with 19. So like you're gonna get a lot for a really good price. So I think the complete Royal package is really interesting.
I also really like the clothing aspect for those who end up becoming fans, right? And importantly, it has history and tradition, right? So it's the oldest brand in continuous production, right? So it's not just a pretty body, right? There's history, there's substance.
And to wrap up, I'd like you to comment on the expectations for Brazil in terms of growth, new models, and how you see the brand in our country, right? I think it's already established itself.
For anyone who doubted, I think we've moved past that. You're here to stay, right? You already seem very Brazilian. What are your expectations for the coming years?
There's no doubt about it, right? First 125 years of the brand now in 2026. 1901, 2026, the only brand in the world with 126 years of continuous production, right? Brazil, we're not leaving here. It's our second largest market in the world, right? Other than India, this is the company's largest market, so we're definitely staying. It's a crucial market, right? What do I think we can promise for 2026? A lot of new things. We should have about 6 to 8 new products, launches, really good product updates, a lot of new dealerships. We're at 43 now. The idea is to finish 2026 with up to 70 stores. So a lot of things for our customers, lots of events, lots of activities, always building community at the center. So come with us because 2026 is going to be really great. Thank you so much.
Thanks. And if you want to get your Birth 650, but you don't have the money up front, and you also think the interest rates are too high to finance it, how about getting it with no interest and no down payment?
With installments, look, of rupees 348.60.
A special installment, only for my followers. And talk now to Pablo through the link in the description or the QR code on the screen. Guys, consortium is really good as long as you do it with the right strategy, with the right group, paying the right fees, not too high. And that's where Pablo will help you. He has the best option according to your financial profile. Whether it's for you to buy the Birth 650, another motorcycle, a car, or maybe even a property just like Mandinha did. If you don't know, I have a property consortium. I'm planning to get my own house and you can achieve your dream too. Talk to Pablo now, just send a message on WhatsApp using the link in the description or the QR code and that's it. Go ahead and share your financial situation and everything else, and he will show you the fastest plan for you to achieve your dream.
Bye.
In summary, what I thought about this launch is that it's amazing and has everything to please us Brazilians. I think that just like the Super Meteor was a success, I think the Birth will also be. Write your opinion down here. So what are the versions, okay?
The cheapest version is this one, the little yellow one. Very beautiful in my opinion. It starts at 33,990 reais.
The mid-range version is the black one with a price of 34,490 reais. And the top of the line version, the one that Mandinha wrote here, is the 249. Its price, the final price, all the prices are final including shipping, is 34,990 reais. So, which one is your favorite? Write it below. If you enjoyed the video, like and share it with friends.
I'm sure they'll love to get to know this newest release from Royal Enfield and of course subscribe to the channel. So as soon as the other Royal Enfield releases come out here in 2026 and also the complete review of it, you'll be the first to know. Up here, I'll leave a really cool video and down here a playlist with all the Royal Enfield videos. See you next time. Big kiss.